Hey everybody and welcome back. I'm Eric for President and you know the drill, your one-stop shop for 5 VR stories you missed over the past couple days. But first, a few rapid fire stories that are making me happy right now in VR. We've got this small dev team working on a multiplayer arena game that encourages teamwork called Laser Storm VR Team Arena. It's not perfect, but the Mystical shows a cheap and convenient way for full body tracking in VR. Give it a look. And lastly, I know Rec Room has it, but a more dedicated disc golf game seems value added to me. As always, links for everything you see here and in the video will be in the description along with timestamps for every story in this video down in the pinned comments. Also, this will be the final video before the winner is chosen for the Oculus Quest headset giveaway number 4, so if you haven't joined yet, check the pinned comment for that link. This is your final chance to get in before the winner is announced on the next video either Saturday or Sunday. But with that being said, please leave a like to support this video. I'm very excited with a lot of fun topics today. Let's get into the VR news. We start today off with a quickie game story that I would love to hear your thoughts on, because as much as I love AAA quality VR games, I think there is probably a lot of fun to be had and a lot of untapped potential in just very simple games. And by simple, I mean you get a prototype like this just a few months ago, real bare bones, and you end up with something like this posted just a few days ago on Reddit. Talk about some commitment. What you see here is Daashi VR, which is a game made by 5 indie developers. Daashi is an upcoming VR game where you control a telepresence robot body utilizing gesture-based controls. Put your agility to the test and improve your day exercising while working in this immersive, musically charged experience. So far, it's just a trailer, but it looks clean, fluid, and simple, yet has potential including multiplayer leaderboards and devs making the game as easily moddable as possible, which to me is a huge plus. Plans for this game are on the Oculus and Steam stores, with post-early access Oculus Quest prototypes in the works as well. So links for this will all be in the description, of course, but yeah, what do you think about games like this? Very simple concepts. In my mind, I think back onto simple iOS and simple phone games, Temple Run, Flappy Bird, Farmville for that matter. Simple games can have a lot of value, and I think VR, we don't touch it nearly enough. And nostalgia and ease of use are a hell of a marketing drug when it comes to a VR game, and I think something like this has a lot of potential, but yeah, I pass it off to you. I would even entertain a free-to-play model with some purchasables that are just cosmetics because, hey, it works. I'm open to entertaining it there, but that's a different topic for another day. Moving on in the discussion though, we gotta talk tabletop gaming in VR along with collectible card games, especially in VR, where there's a lot of potential and there's been some news circulating on both fronts for tabletop gaming and VR card gaming that I've seen some positive takes, I've seen some negative takes, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. On one hand, we have the tabletop gaming news that is newly circulating for a closed beta on the Oculus Quest for Tavern Tales Tabletop Adventures. Link for this quickly growing Discord will be in the description. Now, Tavern Tales Tabletop Adventures is a VR game Studio Shinto has been developing that allows you to play tabletop RPGs with your friends online. The developer has stated, and it's easy to see that he has a passion for D&D, that's what his initial beta will be focusing on one tabletop aspect well before moving on to other functions like a customizable generic system where you can rig and port your own things in tabletop games. And on the other hand, there's some news and some buzz circulating collectible card games in VR. Like Magic the Gathering would be very cool, but Hearthstone developers seem to understand the want of this already, and I'm very excited to see where we can go with that. Because with Hearthstone, first seen published by Flux Flasher on Out of Cards, it is reported that Hearthstone in virtual reality was prototyped internally by Blizzard developers. Now, during Blizzard's annual Free Your Mind event, 2 developers prototyped a version of Hearthstone that made use of VR where you could do things like walk around the tavern, you could sit down and play a game with somebody, you could throw the cards on the table, and even flip the table over in defeat and anger. Now, the prototype was kept fairly hushed during the event because according to Dave Kosak, if they have shown too much, everyone would want to see it. So they know the interest is there. This entire prototype was made in a timeline of 2 weeks, so to say Hearthstone VR will ever be a thing, well, that's questionable. But the ability and want is proven there. So what's your take on collectible card games, on tabletop gaming? There are some pros and cons to both sides. On my gut reaction right away, well, the amount of effort it's going to take for a fully fleshed out card game to come to VR, meaning individually animating, say, each card to give it that VR feel. A lot of people want that in Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, that's a massive undertaking that I can understand a developer probably isn't going to want to take the risk on right now. So if we do get a collectible card game, it's probably going to be a simpler one to start. But to me, the positives of this VR community and what they can do for tabletop gaming and collectible card games far outweigh the negatives, because in reality, getting people together who live far apart or even living in the same city can be very daunting at times. And being in VR, all at the comfort of your home just makes things easier. But even more importantly, people with social anxiety or different things who don't want to be physically present with a group of people, don't want the constant eye contact, all these different things, VR is just breaking down the barriers for those people, making it more easy for them to invest in the things they like. Maybe they've always wanted to try D&D, and this is a little bit of an easier, more comfortable way for them to do it. What do you think? Do you think they could work? Would you play one? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Moving on though, we gotta talk about The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners again, because there's some new news about it that I'm anxiously waiting for because it has a big potential impact for VR. In a recent Twitter post by Skydance Interactive, they did now confirm that both PSVR and Oculus Quest support will arrive in 2020. The PSVR version will launch sometime this spring, and the Oculus Quest version is slated to launch in Q4 of 2020. Now sure, Oculus Quest users can play it now via the Oculus Link in a VR-ready rig, but let's be honest, where we keep adding Link to Quest news for no reason, many bought the Oculus Quest for its standalone ability and want a native Oculus Quest version by itself. And that's really where I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it, because in reality, when Saints and Sinners launches on the Oculus Quest in Q4, hopefully, it is providing about, on average, an 8 to 12 hour experience in the Oculus Quest, which is unlike really anything else that is currently on the platform. If, and it's a big if, I do not know how Saints and Sinners is going to look or perform on the Oculus Quest. It is severely underpowered compared to, of course, a PC. But if they can keep, say, 75% of the graphical fidelity, the enjoyment of this game, even 75%, it's a monster. It is an absolute monster of a hit for the Oculus Quest. In itself, it could be a system seller because it is that good of a game. And that might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's unlike anything we've seen in the Oculus Quest platform yet. How they implement it, how they make it perform, and how they follow through with this will to be seen, but that's big news for VR, and I pass it off to you. Let me know your thoughts about that down in the comments. Now let's move on more to the speculation portion of this video and two speculative stories. The first one that we're gonna start with, the new Samsung Odyssey fly bra leggings, whatever you think it looks like, we're going to talk about this. Now, originally spotted on 9.1 mobile, we only have visuals to speculate any info off of. Now, the original Samsung Odyssey launched way back, followed by the Odyssey Plus, of course, and while it had its issues, it was a very cost-effective headset that had some solid resolution and tech on the path very much less traveled that made many people and still does make plenty of people happy. Comprised of some sketches and color models, we see a possible curved display with one rendering in orange and one in blue. We see objects that look like two cameras on the front as well as two cameras off to the side, which, seeing how the Oculus Quest has performed, this should be adequate for most tracking scenarios. In addition, we have a semi-mix of deluxe audio strap, traditional Halo strap, and an Oculus Rift style headband, which I'm excited to try. Super speculation, but one thing I noticed right away is the lack of any wires in any of these photos, and while I am extremely skeptical of any standalone unit here, I am open to the possibilities. Now, there's no proof right now that this is an actual product. These are just concept sketches that we're going off of, but are you excited about this? Do you think there's a potential headset coming from Samsung that could be possibly an Oculus competitor? Let me know, I'm very curious. If I had any gut reactions, my first one is if there's any company that's going to possibly provide a cost-effective comparison to the Oculus line, meaning somewhere in the $399 range, I think the Odyssey is where it is because in the past, they've been more cost-effective than other headset providers. Now, my second gut reaction is, although I am a guy of performance, I like performance first out of everything. I don't care about aesthetics that much. I do think that this headset does look a little crazy. I'm not sure the amount of effort people are really going to want to put this on. There may be some reluctance to the average consumer, but that's just speculation. Let me know really your thoughts down in the comments. And finally, let's talk about an actual standalone headset more than likely coming to the market, and this is less speculative because we do know the hardware is in the works. So we have a standalone VR headset announcement coming from Lynx, a French startup, teasing a reveal of its Lynx R1 headset February 3rd. The announcement came in a tweet by Lynx CEO and says the headset is standalone and capable of both augmented reality and virtual reality. The website promises innovations in optics, hardware, and ergonomics that will open amazing opportunities in all industries. Most likely, the mixed reality, I'll get to that term later, will come in the form of a stereoscopic cameras on the front and pass-through cameras to create possible seamless real-world applications. Other than this, there is not much we will know until the live stream on February 3rd. So what do you think? Do you think this could be a possible standalone headset competitor to the Oculus Quest? My gut reaction is it seems very unlikely that a small startup could provide anything that's going to be cost-effective or cost-comparable to the Oculus Quest. Because of that, I highly believe that this probably will be more of an enterprise-focused price tag, especially when talking about it being a mixed reality headset with AR and VR. I think the AR promise, the AR potential, the value of AR is just not quite there to the average consumer. There's much more enterprise use for that right now, and because of that, I'm going to expect an enterprise price tag. And with that being said, that's the end of today's episode. Do me a big favor, please hit that like button to support this video. Make sure when you hit that subscribe button to hit the bell icon, because that way you'll get my notifications for videos. Also, please, if you can, join the spaceship on Patreon. Everything on that just gets reinvested back to the channel and helps this channel out tremendously. With that being said, I'll see you on the next one, VR Space Cowboys.
Bang.